Episode 38 Measure for Measure. Rasik wasn't fond of his aesthetically done up office, though he had no idea what is the meaning of aesthetic. He still preferred to be in the field amidst the cement, sand, concrete, bricks, iron, steel, cranes, labourers, trucks, etc. All the paraphernalia used for construction. When Rasik was angry or upset, the modern office with its fancy lights and paintings and all irritated him. He missed the smell of the mud and sand at such times. What was a source of allergy for most people was perfume-like for Rasik. Given a choice, Rasik would have conducted business from the open grounds by the roadside. But he was a senior employee of quality suppliers for 3 decades now, so that was not possible. On most days, Rasik didn't even glance at Chitra, his secretary. He never allowed her to stop any dealer or supplier to wait in order to see him. They all directly walked in, and Rasik would then hold a darbar. Chitra found it revolting to see the suppliers sitting on the expensive sofas with feet pulled up, pouring tea from the cups into the saucers and then drinking with loud swishing sounds. Rasik took special pleasure in the rustiness and rural mannerisms of his clan. He always claimed, especially before the women of the office with all their fancy college degrees, that the real education was obtained on the streets outside, amidst the dust and dirt of the world. Sophistication and courtesy were not in the repertoire of Rasik. In fact, he found it difficult to work with women. But with an increasing number of women now working, Rasik had to adapt himself. Interior decoration and architect firms mostly had women employees. Rasik knew very well that these women would generally negotiate from their offices with him for the materials to reach the sites on time. They would hardly ever inspect the site in person, at least initially. Once the building would begin to take shape, then they would come down to have a look. At the site, they would cover themselves from head to foot to remain dust-free, and would categorically refuse to have tea from the roadside chaiwala. But Rasik welcomed this behavior of the female employees, because taking advantage of their absence, he would always over-order the material. Rasik would sell the remaining stock to small-time contractors at reduced rates and pocket away the profit entirely. No one had found this out so far. But today had been different. Very different. The short, fat, curly-haired Malti Shukla had caught him, red-handed. Rasik's company was supplying material for a township project which was being supervised by Zenith Arch, an architect firm. Rasik usually dealt with Anjali Mehta, a partner in Zenith Arch. Malti Shukla was Anjali's most trustworthy manager. Today, when Rasik gave the material estimate to Anjali for the B block of the township, he was quite confident that the estimate will be approved right away. However, today was just not Rasik's day. Anjali was in a bad mood as material for the clubhouse had been greatly delayed. Rasik's assurance that the matter will get resolved very soon didn't pacify Anjali. As she began to go through the estimate for B block, Malti Shukla opened her bulky folder and said, Anjali ma'am, there is definitely some over-ordering of material for B block. Rasik's ears shot up. Anjali stopped going over the estimate and looked up at Malti. ये देखो मैम, last month in the Gupta Brothers project, the residential luxury apartments, for one wing we ordered 500 sacks of cement and 250 sandbags per floor. Mind you, these are 4-bedroom luxury apartments. Now for this B block, we have studio apartments, which have some 800 square feet area. But the estimate here says 650 sacks of cement and 300 sandbags per floor. For the Gupta brothers, madam, we ordered 500 tons of steel and 16,000 cubic meters of concrete for 12 floors. But for the B block, the estimate says 650 tons of steel and 18,000 cubic meters of concrete for just 10 floors. How come a studio apartment scheme of 10 floors requires more material than a luxury apartment scheme of 12 floors? Anjali stared at Rasik and asked only one question.
How?
All of Rasik's efforts at answering that the studio apartments are about to get permission for 12 floors, the cement prices are set to increase in the next budget, so its procurement will be a smart move, fell on deaf ears. रसिक भाई, अभी तो नवंबर का मंथ है ना, बजट में तो 4 months की देर है, तो आपको कैसे पता कि सीमेंट प्राइसेस आर गोइंग टू गो हायर? मिनिस्ट्री में भी जान पहचान है क्या? Anjali was very angry and immediately called up Arjun Mehra, quality suppliers owner. Rasik couldn't clearly understand the conversation in English between them, but he got the sense that his estimate was being rejected and perhaps the entire contract of material supply with quality suppliers will also be re-looked into. Rasik knew this can cause big trouble to him and to his company. A furious Rasik came back to his office. He slammed the door of his room and refused to meet anyone or even take calls. The deal with Zenith Arch ran into trouble. Arjun Mehra had to step in and calm the ruffled feathers. Rasik changed overnight. He became courteous and well-mannered, especially with women. He would smile at Chitra every morning and had a pleasant word for everyone. Secretly, all the women employees were very pleased that a lady got even with Rasik. At least now his contemptuous mood and rude behavior had gone forever. On a quiet Saturday afternoon in January, Malti Shukla came over for a meeting. Rasik welcomed her at the reception. Inside his room, he immediately ordered some garma-garam snacks. Malti protested that she had had lunch, but there was no stopping Rasik. Dara, the office boy, got the tea and snacks and informed Rasik that Chitra had left for the day. Rasik quietly got up and turned the key in the lock. Malti didn't understand initially. Rasikla, why did you close the door? Asked Malti angrily. So that you can't leave from here, madam. Prompt came the reply. For a few seconds, Malti went numb. Then she realized that Rasik was up to something. One part of Malti's mind told her that she shouldn't be scared. And this was an office with people in it, and she had her phone too. But another part of her mind told her that since Rasik was smiling devilishly, he had planned everything in advance. Arey, don't get scared, madam. मैं हूं ना. But Malti was now quite scared. She slid her hand into her pocket to check her cell phone. Shit! Where did it go? रिसेप्शन पे जब आपने रखा था ना, तभी दारा ने उठा लिया था. Malti turned white with fear. What was this man going to do now? Was he going to... Oh God. Should I shriek? सोचना भी मत मालती मैडम. Room soundproof है. You see, when dealers come here to negotiate and haggle, I have to tell them a price with my cut. So for that reason, I got my office totally soundproof. I have always done business with my cut in every deal. अब तक ऐसे ही चलता आ रहा था. But that day, bloody hell, you messed up with my system. Yes, I know I had become a little too greedy. So इसलिए आपको पता चल गया. अरे I would have readily given half my earnings to you and Anjali madam. But she called up Arjun. His father has never questioned me, and this fellow, bloody hell, insulted me in front of everyone. All because of you and your stupid boss. You weren't spending any money from your pocket, were you? फिर भी problem थी. That Arjun threatened to complain to the police. All because of you, Malti madam. सब तुम्हारी वजह से. तो अब हर जाना तो देना ही पड़ेगा. आप फिर से सारा हिसाब करो and report to Arjun and Anjali Mehta कि मेरा estimate correct था and भूल आपकी थी. Until you do that, Malti madam, आप इस रूम से बाहर नहीं जा सकते. Malti was shocked beyond words. She went numb. The room was of solid wood, not a single glass door or window. No phone, no help. Malti shuddered. रसिक भाई आप ऐसा क्यों कर रहे हैं? We both work for our firms. तो if there is anything wrong, तो we have to correct it, na? Exactly. That's why, Malti madam, you are going to correct it. Now. Rasik bhai, how can I correct it now? ये सब almost a month back था. And now I don't even have the estimate and that pricing list. वो सब ऑफिस के कंप्यूटर में है. And what will I say to Anjali madam? How can I change the figures now? Please try to understand, Rasik bhai. देखो, madam, देखो, that is not my problem. मेरा ये काम करो बस, that's all. Saturday है आज बाकी. The staff is left. दारा और मैं बस हम दो हैं यहाँ. These people, they know that I work till late very often. So no one will peep in. Now, are you getting started or no? Malti suddenly realized that she wanted to go to the washroom urgently. Stressful situations made her bladder full. Rasik bhai, please. I need to use the washroom. ओ मैडम, कोई ड्राइंग रूम, लिविंग रूम, बाथरूम कुछ भी नहीं. हाँ, पहले मेरा काम, फिर सब रूम में जाना. But I need to go to the ऑफिस जाके डिटेल तो लानी पड़ेगी ना रसिक भाई. Use my phone. Call up your office. Get things done. उठने का नहीं यहां से. Malti glanced at the wall clock. It was already 4 p.m. Her staff will be leaving for home. She began to panic. She grabbed Rasik's phone and desperately dialed Pooja, her assistant manager. Pooja took an hour to open up Malti's PC and search for the township details. She was quite amused as to why a month-old estimate was being revised. She questioned Malti several times, but her boss just wouldn't answer anything. "Are tu details dena yaar?" Malti shouted irritatingly. Malti then sat down to do the calculations. By the time she could justify the extra quantities, it was 7 p.m. Her bladder was about to burst, and she was in tears. Rasik now turned the computer towards her. "शाबाश! बस मैडम, अब एक मेल और करने का है। अर्जुन मेहरा एंड अंजलि मेहता को। टेल देम कि टाउनशिप वाले केस में आपकी भूल थी, मेरी नहीं। एंड ये भी लिखो कि आपने मुझ पर गलत इल्जाम लगाया था। चलो करो." When Malti finally got up, her bladder gave way and she wet her pants completely. Embarrassed and ashamed, she rushed outside. The office was pitch dark. Dara finally gave her the phone in the dark basement parking at 9:30 p.m. There were more than a dozen missed calls. Anjali was calling her again and again. Finally, when Malti picked up, Anjali screamed at her.
Malti? What is this? How the hell could you commit such a big mistake? See me on Monday. The first thing.
In the dark basement, only Rasik heard Malti crying.